Hey everybody, this morning we got drops to put out, but first we need to make up some more drops. We're getting kind of low, so let me show you our tubing cutter. And this is set for, I think we've got this set for 32 inches. This is a custom job. My uncle and cousin built this for us. And we've got, we've got snowmobile parts, we've got something off of a John Deere. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. So, all it really is a wheel with a blade on it and a wheel to push up against the blade. So, bring it around, and as the comes around, the tubing goes up over the cutter, and when that cutter hits that wheel, cuts the drop off. So like so, we can cut a whole roll of tubing 500 feet in about 5 minutes. This seriously beats cutting it by hand. The only holdups is when either the tubing gets stuck on the wheel, and instead of dropping out of it like it should, it gets stuck inside it, or if for some reason it catches the snarl up on the spooler itself. Today, it's like spooling off really easy. Except your arm gets tired real quickly. Okay, whoa. That's like too much tubing. All in one shot. Doesn't always cut through. Usually it does. Whoops. I had a derailment. Go. Come on. Oh, that seriously messed up. Put those to the side. Come on. What are you doing? I think this tubing's still really cold from that below zero weather we had been having. There we go. Thankfully, we don't get too much of that kind of weather. There we go. See, like I said, just snagged up the top. Even with all that, it sure beats cutting it by hand with a pair of tubing cutters. But we don't use anything special for tubing cutters. We just go out and buy a pair of pruning shears at the local hardware store. Come on. There we go. Almost done to the end. The end is where it gets the hardest. Because that spool has got the most curl in the tubing, the most memory. It just wants to wrap back around everything like so, and it unspools the hardest. Come on, there we go. And do I have a full drop out of that one? Yeah, we do. Okay, there we go. That's a whole roll of tubing. fascinating, isn't it? Completely derailed. That's what I mean. Try to get stuck in the reel. Oh, did it again. It's a little short for a drop, so we'll just set that one aside. Let's bring this over here. So, this is the wheel that the blade's coming up against, and that pinches the tubing in there. See how tight that is? That cuts the tubing off. So, sharp blade's always helpful. And to keep things on the wheel, this is just a plastic tee, actually. We just put in here, and that keeps the tubing directly on the wheel where it needs to be, and you can always adjust how tight you want to have that tension down there. I think we got this about perfect here. And then just hang your tubing spooler from something. I've seen people hang them off of ladders, and this one we decided, well, let's put a hook in the thing on the floor joist up there, hang a chain off of it, put the spooler on it, away we go. So there you go. About 1,000 feet of tubing cut in under 10 minutes. Now they all get to go in the bin. Or in this case, a cardboard box from syrup jugs. That's where they're stored for the moment. And in a minute, get some teas, and we'll start putting these things together. I'll show you that part of the process. But makes for a pretty easy solution. Now, where we got our idea is we'd seen, I think it was another custom job. Somebody had something very similar. They let us borrow it once. I said, oh, we've got to have one of these. So we took pictures, showed it to my uncle and my cousin at one point when they were out snowmobiling. And they said, yeah, we could build one of them. So they took the ideas back to their shop and went to town on it. The end result. It was mounted on some legs and whatever, and we said, you know what? It'd be so much more stable if we just mounted this right onto the wall, or in this case, a post. Semi-untangle these. Make it a little easier when we make up drops. All right, let's go find some teas. Alright, let's go find some teas. And somewhere here, well, those are the black ones. Somewhere I have, red ones. Got an order in from H2O. what are these? Okay. Interesting. It's always interesting to read French when you're not a French speaker. I tend to butcher French words. There we go. Red teas. All right. Put the rest of these on the shelf. Some reds, some blacks. I don't need more reds. I think I already have some black teas made up already. Oh, and we already have some red teas in our bin over here. I guess I didn't need to pull more out. Well, I need more out anyways, no matter what. So let's see if we can find a place for the camera so we can show you how we make up teas or drops. I mean, you know, drops. I'll take our tubing, clamp it in like so. Grab the tea, hold it in place, and just push it on. Piece of cake. We find that snowshoe bags make great ways to carry drops out in the woods. Keeps them contained and easy to pull from. Just goes on like so. I'm thinking we can do, once we get in the swing of things here, probably about a couple hundred drops an hour. I'm thinking if what we managed to average, depending on who's doing it, how quickly they fingers and move, and how out of practice any of us are. Not like this is something we do all the time. That might be a little bit too much sticking out. There we go. Probably by the time we're done today, this whole box of drops we just made up will be empty. Now, same thing with this thing. This thing is, pretty sure it's another custom job. Where did we get this? Somebody had made it. We picked it up from them. I think we were borrowing it at one point. By the time we were done with it, they're like, yeah, just keep it. Okay. Well, thank you. It's always very nice. I find that most everybody in the maple industry is pretty generous. Done that on occasion with a few people. An old tool I didn't need, or maybe a how-to book that I already had and they didn't have. But we're gonna go put this up on line 408. So that's our conductor 4, line 8. We just label them accordingly. Not all our lines are updated yet. See that numbering system? We got a few lines that are gonna get rerun next year. Or rather, later this year. Not happening for this season, but for next season they'll be ready. Hopefully a bunch of brush cutting and stuff too. Let's see what happens. What we have time for over the summer. But this is a pretty simple setup. just a vice grip with a piece of, I don't know, looks like a bag or something, or I'm not really sure what to cut that out of. But just like your tubing tools, have vice grips on them. Pretty simple. Latches on. These end of the coil ones are so much harder to work with. Now, why do we cut our own drops and make our own drops versus buying them pre-made? Well, buying pre-made is definitely a lot easier. It's nice and straight instead of these big curls. But in the long run, this will actually save us money. It does take up a little bit of our time, but it saves us money. We're actually pretty quick about this, so it's not too bad. Well, I'm out here this morning doing this before the rest of the crew arrives. Which will be anytime now. Hit the woods. Go install all these out there. We're guesstimating this line 408's got about 200 to 300 taps on it. All I know is we ran a lot of tubing out there. Oops. It helps if it goes in the box. We'll see how many we end up with. This will give us a rough idea as to how many tees did we make up, or drops did we make up. It'll give us a rough count, rough guesstimate. That's a guess and an estimate, guesstimate. And then the rest of it, we'll get the final tally when we put spouts out. Which, for those of you who missed it, when we finished 409, we did that one first because it was closer to being ready than 408 was. That was at 425 taps. That's our biggest line yet. By the time we got finished with that one. Tubing and everything on it. That was great. We finished that couple rolls of tubing on that in the morning, and then ran through and did the drops and spouts in the afternoon. It took us like an hour and a half to do the rest of the drops and everything on it. Ended up being 40 something taps short from what we had before. Not too bad. Alright, cruise ride's gonna get really noisy in here. So now that I got extra help out here, we'll show you a close-up of what that actually looks like when we're putting it in. And my sister gets to be the guinea pig.
These are getting out a lot lately.
Uh-huh.
Voila.
Oh, very nice. I like how that turned out. I don't know, how many drops do you figured we could make in an hour? I figured probably close to 200 if we were just sitting here and just continuously doing it and we got in the groove.
I think that's what I did. About 150 maybe.
Yeah.
Depends on how fast you work.
Yep, that's what I figured. Oh, she's running out. Close up here. Yep, go ahead. See, that just clamps on there. so. Real easy.